Tonight, breaking news just moments ago, the suspect charged in Charlie Kirk's murder in court for the first time. The image is coming in tonight. Tyler Robinson, formerly charged with aggravated murder, appearing to nod his head at times. Authorities informing him they will seek the death penalty. And tonight, for the first time, we hear what prosecutors say the suspect's mother noticed, what she said to his father. And authorities tonight revealing the text messages the suspect allegedly sent to his roommate. The suspect allegedly saying, "I had hoped to keep this secret until the day I died," and what he allegedly said when asked by his family and by that roommate why he did it. Also breaking tonight, CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione in shackles in court, and tonight the judge dismissing a top charge linking the killing to terrorism. What the judge is now saying and where this case now stands tonight. The fiery hearing on Capitol Hill tonight. FBI Director Kash Patel under scrutiny for his firing of FBI agents and his handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. After years of Patel talking about Epstein demanding answers himself, he's pressed on the Hill tonight. Why are they keeping the rest of the Epstein files from the public? Overseas tonight, Israel launching a major new ground offensive in Gaza City. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians now struggling to escape. Back in the U.S., the off-duty police officer shot and killed from behind. Dramatic video tonight, the close call at a gas station, an out-of-control car at 65 miles per hour. Tonight, former NFL great Dan Marino revealing his personal battle. And the tributes pouring in tonight for a Hollywood icon. Actor and director Robert Redford has died.
What's the matter with you? I can't swim!
From Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to The Sting, with Barbra Streisand and The Way We Were, to the baseball classic The Natural. Tonight, Robert Redford, in his own words here, what he once told our Charlie Gibson about fame, the movies, the critics, but for Redford, what mattered most.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. We begin tonight with the breaking developments in the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Just a short time ago, the suspect Tyler Robinson and his first appearance in court. The suspect appearing over a video link, the first time he's been seen since his arrest. Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray signaling late today his intent to seek the death penalty. Robinson facing 7 charges now, including aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. And the county attorney sharing for the first time that suspect's mother allegedly recognizing her son from the surveillance images and then going to her husband and he agreed, and what they did next. The county attorney also revealing text messages the suspect allegedly shared with his roommate, saying the suspect disliked Charlie Kirk, texting his roommate, quote, "I had enough of his hatred." And tonight here, the Utah County attorney on what the suspect allegedly said when asked by his family and by his roommate why. Matt Gutman leading us off again tonight from Utah.
Tonight, the man accused of gunning down conservative activist Charlie Kirk in front of hundreds of people, appearing before a judge for the first time, now charged with 7 counts, including aggravated murder.
State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
The 22-year-old appearing to listen intently, nodding slightly, as prosecutors said they would be seeking the death penalty.
We did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty.
Earlier today, County Attorney Jeff Gray outlining the case against Robinson, including video and DNA evidence.
DNA consistent with Robinson was found on the rifle's trigger.
He described Robinson's appearance in those widely circulated photos, the black cap, shades, T-shirt with an eagle and an American flag. Millions saw those images. One of them was the suspect's own mother.
Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son. Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspect shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed.
And prosecutors say that father got his son on the phone.
Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate.
Prosecutors say Robinson's parents convinced him to turn himself in, and his mother later describing a change in her son.
Over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left. becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views.
And prosecutors say that in the hours after the assassination, Robinson texted that roommate a note.
The roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
Prosecutors say that at first the roommate thought Robinson was joking, but Robinson insisting he wasn't.
To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out.
And David, that suspect here at this jail is under what's called special watch to ensure that he doesn't harm himself or that others don't harm him. Now, he's had those 7 charges brought against him. Some of them enhanced, said the prosecutor, because he allegedly committed this crime in full view of children. And when I asked the prosecutor whether anyone else was involved, he said he couldn't comment, but the investigation is ongoing, David.
Matt Gutman leading us off here again tonight. Matt, thank you. And to the breaking developments now involving CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione appearing in shackles in court today for the first time in 5 months. And tonight, the judge dismissing a top charge that had linked the killing to terrorism. What the judge is now saying and where this case now stands. Here's Aaron Katersky.
Shackled and surrounded by guards, Luigi Mangione entered a New York City courtroom today for the first time in 5 months. He sat stoic in a beige jumpsuit as the judge upended the case against him, tossing out the top charge that accused Mangione of murdering United Healthcare chief Brian Thompson as a crime of terrorism. The judge said there's no evidence Mangione's goal was to intimidate the public, though he said there is evidence the defendant murdered Brian Thompson in a premeditated and calculated execution. Outside court, supporters applauding Mangione's attorneys, though he still faces the possibility of life in prison on the remaining charges, including second-degree murder. He has pleaded not guilty, but prosecutors say this is Mangione, caught on camera, stalking Thompson and shooting him at close range. He has been in custody since his dramatic capture. Prosecutors say a gun, a fake ID, and these writings were found in Mangione's backpack during his arrest at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I finally feel confident about what I will do, one entry said. The target is insurance. It checks every box. The defense said that evidence was obtained improperly, and they're fighting to keep it out. Mangione will be back in court in December, and tonight, David, prosecutors say they're still confident in their case, even though that terrorism charge was thrown out. David?
Aaron Katersky with us here tonight. Aaron, thank you. Now to the fiery hearing on Capitol Hill. FBI Director Kash Patel under scrutiny today for his firing of FBI agents and over his handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. And after years of Kash Patel talking about Epstein, demanding answers himself, he was pressed on the Hill today. Why are they keeping the rest of the Epstein files from the public? Here's Pierre Thomas on that.
So help you God.
Tonight, FBI Director Kash Patel clashing with Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee, who said he was failing as a leader, firing experienced agents for political reasons, and taking agents off their core mission. Charges Patel flatly denies.
I believe you have made our country weaker and less safe. I believe that we are more vulnerable to a major event, and I pray to God it doesn't happen.
The hearing at times devolving into squabbling.
I follow you on your social media posts that tear this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
You can try.
Patel also facing questions from Republicans about the Justice Department's handling of the Epstein files. Patel spread conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein prior to taking office. After becoming director, Patel at one point refusing, along with the Justice Department, to release any more information.
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
He also faced tough questions about why Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, was moved to a less secure prison following her interview with the Department of Justice.
Right after she gives this testimony in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
Patel attacking California Democrat Adam Schiff, who is now under DOJ investigation for alleged mortgage fraud.
You are a political buffoon at best.
David, Patel is back on the Hill tomorrow before the House, and there will be more questions about Epstein for sure. And David, it's likely to be just as contentious, if not more.
You'll be following it. Pierre Thomas tonight, thank you. Overseas tonight, Israel has launched a major new ground offensive into Gaza City. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians struggling to escape, many asking, where can they go? Here's our chief international correspondent, James Longman, tonight.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians tonight are making the desperate escape from Gaza City as Israel launches a massive military operation to occupy it.
Airstrikes raining down as tanks roll in, although many say they won't leave and they're refusing to be forced out. The race to get out of the danger zone in cars, on bikes or just by foot, but nowhere in Gaza is safe. It's not our fault that October 7th happened, says this woman. It's not our fault. Repeated pleas from hostage families, scared for the 48 remaining in captivity, going unanswered by the Netanyahu government, who says the push is needed to destroy Hamas. This, as a UN commission now says Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The independent commission finding Netanyahu among those responsible for killing civilians on purpose, cutting them off from aid and supplies.
A ceasefire seems further away than ever, David. Secretary of State Rubio was today in Doha trying to salvage talks days after Israel tried to bomb the Hamas leadership there. David?
James, thank you. And James, as you know, President Trump today saying, I don't know too much about Israel's ground offensive. The president arriving just moments ago in the UK, the first American president to be given a second state visit. The president hosted by the late Queen in 2019. King Charles will roll out the red carpet tomorrow at Windsor Castle. A glittering banquet planned. On Thursday, Prime Minister Keir Starmer will host President Trump at Chequers, of course, his rural retreat. Back here in the U.S. tonight, the tributes pouring in for a Hollywood icon, actor and director Robert Redford. A career of unforgettable roles, from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to The Sting, with Barbra Streisand and The Way We Were, his baseball dreams and The Natural, and of course, All the President's Men. Tonight here, we look back and what Robert Redford once told our Charlie Gibson about the movies, the critics, and about what mattered most to Redford.
Robert Redford was a legendary Hollywood star, though that stardom is what he liked least about it. An actor, an Oscar-winning director, a man who was passionate about the environment.
I'll jump first. No. Then you jump first. No, I said. What's the matter with you? I can't swim!
His breakout role, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in 1969, opposite Paul Newman.
Listen, I don't mean to be a sore loser, but when it's done, if I'm dead, kill him. Love to.
It was just 2 years prior he played opposite Jane Fonda in Barefoot in the Park.
How long will you be staying with us, Mr. Bratter?
6 days.
And nights?
After playing the same role on Broadway, directed by Mike Nichols.
Just now, it has suddenly become very clear to me that you and I have absolutely nothing in common.
Why, because I won't go walking barefoot in the park?
Redford rising to stardom in the 1960s with a string of blockbuster hits. His good looks and on-screen charm undeniable.
You can trust me, you know that.
Playing journalist Bob Woodward, covering the Watergate scandal that brought down the Nixon presidency and All the President's Men.
If you're gonna do it right. Here are my notes. If you're gonna hype it with the facts. I don't mind what you did. I mind the way you did it.
You, Kelly.
Reuniting with Paul Newman for The Sting in 1973. It would be Robert Redford's first and only Oscar nomination for acting.
Shaw's been planning to beat your game for months. He's just been waiting for you to cheat him so he could clip you.
He would act alongside Hollywood's most sought-after leading women. With Barbra Streisand in The Way We Were.
You smile all the time?
No. No.
Opposite Meryl Streep in Out of Africa.
I have paid a price for everything I own.
And what is it exactly that's yours? We're not owners here, Karen. We're just passing through.
Throughout his career, Redford trying to push the envelope with the projects he chose, frequently talking about the importance of telling stories that matter.
What's the story? Who are the characters that embody the story? And more importantly, where's the emotion? You know, if you can get all three pulled together, then you got something to work with. But for me, without story, there's nothing.
He turned to directing in his 40s, Ordinary People in 1980, about the grief one family faces, reflecting in some ways his own grief after losing his mother at a young age.
When Buck died, it was as if you buried all your love with him, and I don't understand that.
Ordinary People would win 4 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director for Redford.
You know, if anybody had told you a year ago that you would have been ... well, I just didn't think I was going to see this. But I'm no less grateful.
A year later, he would found the famed Sundance Institute and later the Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah, to support independent filmmaking and to foster new voices in film. He preferred his life on his quiet Utah ranch to a life in Hollywood.
We are here to support the filmmakers and to increase diversity, to broaden the envelope if we can, and to hopefully legitimize more independent films' place in the film world in general.
Robert Redford died at his home in Utah at the age of 89. And with our own Charlie Gibson, Redford talking about the critics, the public, and arguing what matters most is the quality of your own work.
The public will receive you as they will. There's nothing much I can do about that. But work is something I can do something about, so I tend to focus on that. The work will speak for itself one way or another.
A profound body of work. As I mentioned, Robert Redford was 89. Tonight, Meryl Streep paying tribute, saying, "One of the lions has passed. Rest in peace, my lovely friend." Barbara Streisand saying he was one of a kind. And Jane Fonda tonight calling him a beautiful person in every way. When we come back here tonight, a lot more news ahead. NFL legend Dan Marino tonight revealing his very personal battle. Also, we have learned an off-duty police officer has been shot and killed from behind in a convenience store. What police are now saying about the suspect, who they say was allegedly the clerk. And then the very close call tonight, an out-of-control car, 65 miles per hour, where this played out in a moment here. Tonight, an off-duty officer has been shot and killed from behind. Authorities in Volusia County, Florida, outside Orlando, are searching for a motive in the alleged targeted fatal shooting of that officer. Officials tonight releasing this surveillance video they say shows Officer David Jewell, the gunman, shooting from behind. That suspect is a clerk at the store. He's now charged with first-degree murder. Tonight, that close call for a customer at a gas station in Brady, Nebraska. He was cleaning his windshield when he spotted that out-of-control car headed right for him, out of the way just in time. Authorities say the car was going at least 65 miles per hour in a 40 zone. They plan to charge that driver. When we come back tonight, former NFL great Dan Marino revealing his personal battle tonight. To the Index tonight, legendary Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino revealing he has liver disease. Marino telling People magazine he was diagnosed in a routine checkup years ago. He says his prognosis is getting better and better because he's been doing what the doctors ordered, adjusting diet and working out. When we come back today, a moment we found today, what Robert Redford told Charlie Gibson when Charlie asked, what if somebody said stop right now, and allowed Redford to be judged by his work, what he had done so far in his career, and what Redford said. Finally tonight here, one more moment we found with Robert Redford and Charlie Gibson. Robert Redford on his body of work.
If somebody had to stop right now, take a look at Redford's work and judge the man, the actor, the director, on what has been produced so far, you'd be relatively satisfied with how that judgment would come down? I would. Because I've had the fortune to do a lot of what I wanted to do. In other words, I didn't feel like I had to make films for other people's needs. So I've tried to make films when I've had the chance that were the films I wanted to make, and not just fall into some formula that belonged to somebody else. So in that sense, I've been fortunate, and so I've made those films as best I could, and I feel good about that.
Robert Redford on his good fortune. Some movies to watch again. And by the way, a special edition of 2020, Robert Redford, The Life and Legacy of an American Icon. Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on ABC. The next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. I'm David Muir. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 3rd year in a row.